Reality recap.
And hi, everyone. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion of
I look like the slave. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Tamara?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the
Reality recap. Reality.
What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. I hope everyone's had a great week and gonna have an even better weekend. But we are here for a special tea talk with the one and only, the one I always say, if I am on trial for murder, I am calling no one other than Miss Attorney Symone. Red Wine with Girl Is That Legal podcast is in the building.
Hey y'all, it's your legal bestie, Attorney Symone. If you're not familiar with me yet, I'm your legal bestie. I break down celebrity cases on social media and political stuff on social media and on my channel, which is called Girl, Is That Legal? And I try to break it down like I would with my homegirls who are drunk at brunch, because I feel like if you could explain the law to a drunk person, then you've done a good job making it just seem very smooth and clear cut. Yes.
So welcome. And before we get started, I have to say congratulations. You have been doing your thing. Over 200 plus followers across your platforms. Featured on CBS News, breaking down the Diddy case. Homegirl was in the city for weeks covering the Diddy case on her channel, breaking it down for us and giving us the facts. So congratulations for all your success. So happy for you. You know, I'm a huge fan and supporter. So I'm just so happy for you.
I appreciate that so much. And you know what? Thank you as well, because your girl is tired. But, I'm so excited. I'm starting to live my dream. My dream is to become like a legal analyst on TV, a co-host of some type of a show. Like, I love The Real, something like that, where I can be part of an ensemble and do chitter chatter about pop culture, but also educate and share about the law when I get a chance. And before we get started, I also want to let y'all know, I am not like untouchable. Some people think, somebody gets on Liberty reality show and they're like, ooh, I'm too good. No, you can go to my page. My website is SymoneRedwine.com, and you can schedule a consult with me. At the top on the far right, the gray button, you would just click, you just click book Symone. And I started 30 minutes. There we go. For 30 minutes, it starts at 200. As well, I own a title company called Experience Title. So if you have any property you're looking to close in Texas anywhere, give us a call. You can go to my page, or you can call 214-575-8300 anywhere in the state. I'd love to help. Now, for the mess.
Let's get into it. Let's make us bigger on the screen. I like it when we can see us. Yes, let's get into it. So what we are here for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is I said I had to connect with my girl to get the fact on the T Hood murder case that has been making headlines for about 2 weeks now. If you guys aren't familiar with the rapper T Hood, he is a well-known rapper in Atlanta. Not so much everywhere, but in Atlanta. And he was murdered on August 8th. And he
unalived. For YouTube.
Yes, unalive. And he was the boyfriend of Kelsey Frost, who is Kirk and Rashida Frost's daughter. Well, Rashida's stepdaughter and Kirk's biological daughter. Shortly after he was unalived, T Hood's family, members of his family, got online. They were accusing Kelsey of being a part of the reason why he's no longer here, claiming that, or alleging that she called her brothers over during an domestic dispute, and one of her brothers is the alleged pew pew shooter in the case. So it has been all over. Kelsey made a statement, a post and delete. It's a long statement. We'll get into it. I think that was very damaging what she posted. So, I have questions for Attorney Symone Redwine. And the case right now is currently being investigated as self-defense. The autopsy has come out. But yeah, between T Hood's family online and, posting videos of them speaking with Kelsey and things she had to say, it's just been a lot. Also, domestic violence videos have come out of, T Hood and domestic disputes with Kelsey and, hitting on her, things like that. So it's been a whole lot happening. So I had to call my girl to get to the facts. So I just wanted to give you guys a recap, and I know you did some digging today. So this is an open investigation. So tell us, what are you seeing so far when you search the Gwinnett County site?
Yes. So I did check the court records. So we love receipts. Actually, Vanessa was very helpful with the Christian Gold case that I was most known for breaking. And we use court records for that. But here, there are no court records pertaining to this specific incident because charges haven't been filed. So what happens is charges have to be filed first in order for a case number to be assigned, and then search by the person's name, the defendant's name, and that or the case number to get more info. Since that hasn't happened, we can't do that now. Now, some of the media outlets, I believe, receive certain other reports, and that's because it's an ongoing investigation. But what happens is there's a limitation, basically, of what they're giving the media. But what the media has shared, so we've got the Atlanta Fox 5, right? So they started by basically just revealing that, because it was like 3 stories. They revealed that there was the fatal shooting, that it occurred at T Hood's apartment. And specifically, let me get the paragraph. It says, when they arrived, they found 33-year-old T Hood. Of course, they don't call him that. Was suffering from pow wounds. Officers arrived to aid him, and he was taken to the hospital. Police said one person was detained at the scene, is being interviewed by detectives, and it's being investigated as a homicide. Motive unclear. That's what they initially said. Basically, they got additional information, and it was determined that this happened. It did happen in T Hood's house, but that T Hood had a pow, and so did one of the other brothers. Did we confirm that it was Kai with the pow?
Well, he was named as the number one suspect. As the one with the blicky. But his other brother allegedly was there as well. His older brother, Kai Frost Jr.
Correct.
And tell me if you saw different, but just based on the videos that the sister or alleged sister of T Hood put up, it was saying that someone stayed at the scene and was cooperating. And it seemed like it was Kirk Frost Jr., not Kai Frost. Some people were saying it was Kai that stayed behind. Is it clear to you who?
I'm unclear.
Okay.
Yes, I am unclear as to who that was. And if you see my eyes rolling, I'm looking at articles now because I am seeking to clarify some of that. So no, it's unclear who stayed and so-called cooperated. But the truth of the matter is no one should stay and cooperate by speaking without a lawyer.
Duh.
Something makes me think that it may have been the other brother. We're going to call him Junior, that has done that, because Junior has an extensive criminal record himself. Okay. Junior was in trouble historically for a long time. And what I've seen a lot of times is you would think it's the career criminals that would know to zip it and have an attorney with them. However, what I've seen a lot is when they didn't actually do the pow-powing, when they didn't do it, they're the quick to be like, no, let me tell you what happened. Because that's one of the few times when they didn't do it, as opposed to when they are involved, they're obviously very quick to also say, no, I want my lawyer. So it likely could have been the older brother, but we are not sure. Now, what we do know, though, is that it states that, so according to the news, the shooting stemmed from a domestic disturbance, it says, that also injured a woman, the police say. This is relevant. We're assuming that woman is Kelsey. But what it doesn't say is if that domestic disturbance occurred in the house or somewhere else. And then the brothers are coming over to the house to talk to her boyfriend. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And that's what is, I guess the biggest question for me is, how is this a self-defense case?
That's what we
And
need to get to.
the sisters, again, I'm gonna say alleged sisters, were the ones online saying that Kelsey called the brothers to the house allegedly.
Mhm.
But Kelsey put up a very lengthy statement, like I said, that she then removed. But in her statement, she repeated, I could put it up here on the screen again.
Mhm.
It's she repeated that.
Please put it up and read it for the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, let's do that.
Oh, we got a super sticker here.
So I'll share it. Let me see if I can make it. Okay. So can I make it a little bit bigger? I'll read it to you guys. So what it said was, first off, I've been advised not to speak up by plenty of parties. I can't sit back and let this narrative being created go on. The love of my life is gone. The man I lay with and cuddle every night is no longer here. So as I want to ask for respect and privacy, I won't, because I will always defend my baby. I don't condone this SHIT in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm sick to my stomach. I don't wish this on anyone. My brain is all over the place. This is a total nightmare, but I'm gonna get this off. I don't even have time to grieve or say my respect in the right manner, because I am defending myself being attacked by people who are creating weird and sick rumors. I'm not good at talking, but I would love to give insight and let the people who love him in to get understanding. I don't have the right words, but I want to keep trying, keep typing, while also respecting his family and loved ones. So please stop listening to people who weren't there. Listening to all these rumors and conspiracy theories will get nobody anywhere, but just following a false narrative. I hate I have to even post this, but I won't let y'all bully me and put the blame on me, making it seem like we weren't one. I ain't ever fathomed no SHIT like this. I love my man with my entire heart. Sending me threats, I am grieving too. I am hurting too. I didn't harm anyone or ask anyone to harm him. I didn't call for anyone to come help him. I didn't ask for this. I would never. My baby was still healing from being pow pow 3 times. We handled our business in private. I am livid also. I didn't call my family for help. For one, I'm the only girl, and I know we would be right back together the same night. If anything, I don't involve my folks in our business. I didn't call a brother. I didn't call anyone but his mother. That's my baby. I don't care who's involved. I don't condone this. I am not okay. Woo!
Is
That was
that
a
both of them?
mouthful. Yes.
Okay, wait. Someone just said, Kelsey said in the text that he went outside and busted her tires. Was that a different text message?
I didn't see any text message. There were videos online as well of her being upset with him about groupies or other women, but it's not clear, even with the videos that were put up of him beating on her, it's not clear if any of that was from the night
It's
of
not. None of the videos, I want to be clear about that. So none of the DV videos are from that night. In fact, nor are the photos. So TMZ had some photos. Here, I can hit the share on those.
Mhm.
TMZ had some photos, and those photos, okay, there's a video and there's some photos, but the photos of her bruising, let me go ahead and put that up. I'm going to share it. Are from actually an incident that I think is 2024. Hold on. It says, yep, November of 2024. So if you hit the share. So none of those are into that night. So what we're going to talk about, I'm going to read off the description from the autopsy of his bruising, and then we're going to talk about legally why the police might be investigating it as domestic violence. So let me see, can y'all see this? Yeah, you see this? So that's some of her bruising, right? So then, and then we've also got the video. Let's go ahead and show this video. Hold on. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to do it with no sound just so we don't run afoul. But here we are. All right, so he's clearly yelling at her. She's in the bed. And I believe this is the video that was in support of the photos of the injuries. Why?
Mhm.
Because she actually made a DV report and had a restraining order filed for it in March of this year.
Mm.
So
Didn't
March
know.
of this year. Yeah. So, okay, he's about to go. There we go. And mind you, this is how he acts, even though he knows he's being, there's a recording. He didn't even get rid of the recording. There you go. He didn't even get rid of it. There it is again. He didn't even get rid of it. Mm-mm. Now, again, okay, so we can, yeah. I can see.
And Latoria said it's the text she sent his mama the same day telling her to get her son.
Ah, gotcha. All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna read off to you what it says in the autopsy are the injuries, and I think that's part of what is really making people go like, huh? Yeah, it was a March 2025 police report of March 2025 where Kelsey calls 911 and said that Hood had made off in her Benz and in her black mini car, I guess it's a car, following an argument after a night out. And after that 911 call, I guess she had also filed for a restraining order against him and used the photos from November, what have you, of, here we go, of her DV injuries. Let me scroll this. Let me read off. Give me a second. What the autopsy says on those injuries, because that was very interesting to me.
Yeah, I know
is.
the autopsy said, right, that he was, and I guess that's part of my question too, but it said, he sustained pum wounds to the back, abdomen, backside, and both legs. He was taken to the hospital where he later was unalived.
So back, abdomen, butt, and both legs. Got it.
Yeah. So how is it self-defense if it's in his back? I get it says that he had he had a little Smith and Wesson too, probably. But how is it self-defense if he was shot in the back?
Well, for the same way that police officers get away with shooting us in the back and getting away with it, right? No offenses. The argument usually is that the person was moving, because those of us who have never pow-powed anyone, I think, and most people who, the first time you do have to do that, right? You kind of think like, oh, you're going to shoot the person, and then all of a sudden they're going to stop moving. They're going to stop being a threat. But what police cases will tell you is that the argument is that once that person was pow-powed, that they kept moving and they would continue to be a threat. And the other person was just shooting until they felt safe and could, and were no longer threatened. The reason it's being investigated, number one, let me say, I think some people are confusing self-defense with defense of others, because it's being argued that at the time of the incident, the sister was not still there at the house. So it wasn't like she was actively being abused. Now, that matters from the perspective of you have more leeway with the law if you are acting currently in defense of others. So if their sister was actively being beat or even like being maintained against her will, they could certainly come in there, storm, etc. But the facts, as we're hearing, number one, the sister is saying, I didn't call them over. And secondly, we haven't heard anything about an active argument, but it doesn't matter. That's because he had a weapon too. So arguably, if either of the brothers are claiming that they went over, they were talking to him, and he pulled out a weapon on them and they hadn't done anything, even though they're in his house, they can blow him away. Front, back, side to side.
So Georgia does have self-defense law, because I know New Jersey, we don't have.
Oh, yeah. I think Georgia may even have a version of stand your ground. Hold on a second. I'm going to confirm that.
Which I'm not surprised by, to be honest. I mean,
right?
It's becoming to me like Florida and Texas, they're their own country.
So here's what it says specifically. Georgia's stand your ground law allows individuals to use necessary force, including deadly force, to defend themselves or others against imminent unlawful force without a duty to retreat, provided they are in a place where they are lawfully present and are not the initial aggressor.
So I guess it really does. The key pieces that we need, right, is how did the brothers end up over there if she's saying she didn't call them? How did they end up there? I would think, just my perception that if I'm hearing that my sister was in a domestic dispute, I'm showing up aggressively. So I'm just like,
Absolutely.
those are the pieces to me that I guess makes the difference in this case. Would you agree?
I do. And I'm going to tell you what factors currently lean in favor of, we're going to call them the brothers. Now, under Georgia law, what happens is when you have a pow incident like that, the minute the minute the brothers say, hey guys, this was self-defense, the burden actually shifts to the government prosecutors to show that it wasn't. That's because, one, you got the stand your ground law there. So the real main question is, were they there lawfully? And it appears that they were. The reason I'm saying that is there's no evidence that someone busted in the door. They were in the house, they were in the living room, and they were talking. And it would not be unusual to assume that even if some brothers had an issue with their daughters, with their sister's boyfriend, that boyfriend would let them in the apartment.
Wow.
That's normal. In fact, Kelsey was there earlier in the day, so it wouldn't be unusual. Would you agree that he would let them in?
Yeah.
So as long as they were permitted in, unless the government has evidence that they were the aggressors, because Georgia law lets them say, hey, I was lawfully there. He let me in. I was not the aggressor. He was, because we came to talk about the abuse to our sister and he pulled a pow on me. It's not unbelievable that he would do that. Why? Because hold on. This right here. Let me share this with you.
And someone asked on Instagram, is this an open? Yes, it's an open investigation.
It's open.
And have the suspects been identified? They did name Kai Frost as one of the main suspects that they were investigating. Someone on Instagram was asking.
And let me share this. Wait. No, this is the other one. No. Don't put this up. This wasn't it. Yeah, no, not this one. But also, you have to remember, T. Hood has an extensive criminal record, particularly a record of weapons, having weapons and using weapons. He also was pow, they said 3 weeks prior. So as a result of that, it's kind of like when they say, once you get a felony and you get in the system, it's a problem. The cops start harassing you. You lose the benefit of the doubt. T. Hood, and because of T. Hood's background, he's in this investigation of self-defense. Cops aren't giving him the benefit of the doubt because of that, and because he done knocked that girl upside her head far too many times. He's not what a jury would call a sympathetic victim.
Well, they definitely haven't been sympathetic with him in my comments. I will tell you that.
No. And we're talking a Georgia jury, right? So let's think about this. Gwinnett County is going to be probably pretty split 50-50 black and white, just because a lot of black people want to say I love us, but y'all like to play, so y'all don't have to be serving on jury duty. But it's going to be a browner jury, and our juries of all races don't like victims who whoop on sisters or women of any sort. So when you bring to the district attorney a case where you're like, hey, I need you to indict these brothers for pow. Oh, what's the backstory? There was a disturbance earlier the same day regarding their own sister. The brother lets him in the house. The brother has a pow, pulls it on them, according to them. And he's not here with us anymore. So he's not here to say, no, they pulled it on me first. So, and remember, the brothers will never have to take the stand.
Really?
No, depending on the state. And in that state where you have a self-defense, stand your ground, you do not have to take the stand. Now, other states require, in order for you to use self-defense, for you to take the stand and explain the self-defense. But the benefit, that's what a lot of people don't realize why stand your ground is so strong. The benefit of the stand your ground law is that it shifts the burden. That's why, you guys, George Zimmerman in Florida never had to take the stand in his case. Remember?
Wow.
Against Trayvon Martin. It was the guy who was alive version of the facts versus the dead kid.
Wow.
And
So
that's what it's going to be here.
Wow. And I know when I talked to you earlier, you said you would argue this case a different way other than self-defense. Like, what were you
Oh,
explaining?
no. No, I'm saying it would be self-defense, not of the sister. Throw that out.
Mhm.
You will lose if it's supposed to be self-defense of the sister, because too much time has elapsed. That's how come you'll see cases. So if it's self-defense of a DV victim, it needs to be in the moment, in the heat of the offenses, in the heat of the abuse. Because as I go back to the definition of the stand your ground, you can use only necessary force to defend yourself or others against imminent. Imminent is a word meaning immediate unlawful force, right? So if he was whooping on her earlier, not good enough. He got to be whooping on you or pulling out a pow pow on you right now.
And I did see some people in the comments saying that they believe that Kai may be living in this apartment with them. So that's, I guess, another key piece that would make a difference or make sense as to, was he let in? Does he live there? I've heard all types of stories saying that the brother lives in the same complex and overheard something. It's been all types of, so I'm really trying to, like you said, wait until the investigation is completed or what comes out from that, which, is still ongoing. Wow.
Someone says Kai might go to jail because his sister refused to leave an abusive man. I'm so curious as to whether the sister was there when this transpired, because she needs to zip it. If she doesn't, her words are going to be the problem.
I think that statement she made was going to be a problem. And she did post it and delete it. But of course, the internet catches everything. But that statement alone to me was a bit incriminating. It wasn't helpful. That's all I'm going to say.
Which part? Tell me which elements of the statement do you think were the least helpful?
I didn't. First of all, I just felt like the statement itself was already putting them at the scene of the crime and being the ones that did the pow powing. And I just would not have put that up. And even if one stayed behind and cooperate, I just felt like the whole statement was saying, my brothers were there, they did it, and I had nothing to do with it, or
I didn't call them over there. My brothers were there, and I didn't call them over here.
They acted in their own will. So that's why I was saying, so is it self-defense? But I get what you're saying. It's maybe not self-defense of her, but of themselves.
It could be of themselves. Okay. Basically, all they have to show is that he pulled or insinuate even is that he pulled a pow pow on them when they were not being aggressive towards him.
Yeah.
They could even be raising their voice at him. They could actually, I'll rephrase that he pulled a pow pow on them first. That's it. That's all they have to show. They could have been cussing him out. They could have been in his face. You're a B, you beat girls. Whoop me, whoop my tail then. And he could have pulled out his weapon. That's it. Now, but if they hit him first, they don't get self-defense. Does that make sense? If y'all punched him first, hit him first, whatever. Now, someone made a comment here. Thank you so much, Zen Nurse. It says, there's two I want to address. Elite Leo says, T Hood didn't live there. Kai and Kelsey lived there. Well, T Hood, if you could share like a TikTok or anything where you got that from, I'd love it. Because a lot of the news that I'm getting and the facts are like hood facts. And I want to expand and like cover this some more. So please share, drop a link in the chat of where you got that from. But what makes me think that Kai may not have lived there is her statement doesn't insinuate that.
Right.
If my brother was living with me, I wouldn't have said, put that thing back. Hold on, I got it on my phone too. Let me see that statement again. There was a line in there that said something to the effect of I didn't call them. It says I didn't call them over. Something like that. Yeah. Well, you don't have to call nobody over if they live there, right?
Right. Yeah. It's so many theories. And
Latoya Mitchell has a good question here I want to answer. She says, what if they went over there and threatened that man? Was it video footage in the living room where the brothers were talking to T Hood? No, I have not seen yet. Now, the police still might have that.
Right.
If they went over there and threatened him, though, they still might have stand your ground. Here's why. Number one, if the threat is touch my sister again and I'm a pow you, you can, I won't say that's acceptable because under the law, technically that could be what's called making terroristic threats. You're not supposed to do that. However, what they're saying is if you break the law, i.e. hurt my sister, I will hurt you. Arguably, I think a court and a jury would not find that meant you lose, stand your ground. Because remember, stand your ground says, number one, you have to be there lawfully. So if they were invited in, right? And then they come over there and they start threatening him. The second part of stand your ground is the force used has to be equivalent and necessary. So if in response to threats, if you hit my sister again, I'm going to do this, T-Hood cannot pull out a weapon. He can't a pow to stop words. You just need to stop beating on her and then they won't have to hurt you.
Yeah, and I'm hoping there is footage that is revealed or that they have, because if we got the video footage of these past domestic videos, I'm hoping that there's more that kind of shows maybe the outside of the house, what happened.
Oh, yeah. So people are saying, isn't it weird for footage? Latoya, you're on it today, honey. Latoya says, isn't it weird for footage to be in the bedroom and not the living room? Oh, no. I believe footage there in the living room. They're not releasing it yet. Yeah. They can't.
Because the footage that was released wasn't released by the police.
That's right.
It was Kelsey's friend who was, she said she got tired of sitting back and people accusing Kelsey. She was the one that started releasing these videos and releasing these pictures. Those weren't released by the police. So if there is video part of the investigation, is most likely we haven't seen it yet.
That's it. Yeah, and they're not going to, because the police are not going to, bow to public pressure. What they would do is the police will first likely release it to Fox 5 because the media uses the Open Records Act. And the media is actually able to get stuff first because there's a special media privilege that says if something is pressing, if it's a criminal danger to the public, then they'll give certain pieces of potential evidence to the media. But here, where the whole issue is self-defense, until the police determine either it's self-defense, we're not pressing charges, or we are pressing charges because we don't believe self-defense fits, no video will be released. But once if they decide to do charges, trust, they're going to release whatever video or at least a clip thereof that helped them make that conclusion.
And how do you think, how long, I know there's probably no set time frame, but how long could it be before charges are potentially pressed or they do say, you know what, it was self-defense and we're not moving forward?
Well, there's no statute of limitations on homicide. So technically they could carry this on forever, but they won't, right? Police close cases after they can't figure it out. It's hard to say, but I envision with the level of facts and what's going on there, it should be determined within 60 to 90 days max.
Okay.
I say 60 to 90 max because the only times when it'll take longer is like if they need to subpoena like phone records and things like that. But even then, now you get phone records pretty quickly once you have a subpoena.
Right.
Video, same thing. Like if they, for example, if this is, what do you call it? Ring footage or any of that, they can go straight to Ring and pull that footage. That doesn't take a long time. So I don't believe an investigation will take a long time. Lady T-Bug is saying investigations can take years. They can. But where the issue is self-defense, it's not going to take a long time because they're either going to say, we think it's self-defense or not. So because that basically, the fact that the police are saying they are investigating it as self-defense means they know exactly who the shooter is.
Right.
They know. There is no doubt who that person is. They're just not telling us. So their sole investigation is whether or not this person was justified in how they pow this guy. Also, the description per the autopsy is pow wounds to the back, abdomen, butt, and both legs, which meant it wasn't like they beat him up first.
Yeah, there was no talk of There's
Right.
been no talk of like injuries to the brothers or to T Hood, just
Which
those wounds.
Right, which they don't have to have. When you got two people both with pals, all you got to do is say he pulled his first, and if there is no evidence to dispute that, you can get off.
Yeah. So if charges were brought upon Kai or
Please
Kirk,
like the live, yeah. Please
yes,
like it, guys. Hit the
like it,
subscribe too.
please, appreciate it. If charges were to be brought upon him, what kind of charges would it be, and what could he potentially be facing as far as years?
Yeah. He could be facing up to life. It depends on whether they determine if it's the M word, the big M, murder, mine's an murder. In Georgia, if you're convicted of capital that, then you get life. It's not optional. You get life. But I believe this would be closer to some form of a manslaughter, voluntary or involuntary, because manslaughter means it was something during the heat of passion. It could be during the heat of an argument. And any attorney for the boys would argue, hey, they were upset about the treatment of their sister, and the police themselves or the news itself is saying there was a domestic disturbance earlier in the day. Domestic simply means among family members or people in a relationship. So that does suggest that it was related to Kelsey earlier in that day.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah, someone also, it says the injuries. So did they pow him and he turned due to the pain, and that's how he got one in the back, the bottom, and then the legs? That's a good question. Latoya is asking, says, was he walking towards was T Hood walking towards the other brother? And the one who was down pulled the pow. Someone else said it looks like he was shot from a lower level because they got his legs. So the trajectory, that's going to matter too.
And it'll matter, as far as which ones entered first. Like, would they be able to tell? Because it was at the abdomen first, like you guys are saying, and then he turned away, and the rest. And I also wonder, does it matter too, like how many times they pow? But you were saying that if they still felt like it was a threat,
correct,
that they could potentially just keep on
the
going.
thing is, yep. And when the other person has a pow too, you can blow them as many times as you want.
Wow.
Because they still have their pow. You can be laid on the floor and still grab it and, shoot the other person. So part of my question would be, when you look at the bullets, did T Hood get any bullets off, or did just the boys?
Okay.
We don't know. We just know how many bullets were in T Hood, but we don't know how many were in the room.
So it's definitely a case that we have to continue to follow and get more information. But what I want to ask you also, we like the tea over here, because when you looked on the county website, you mentioned that you saw a whole lot of other lawsuits was it for Kirk Sr. that you saw?
Yeah, when you put Kirk Sr., so, and part of it is he has the same name as Junior. Junior was born in 1990. But yeah, it was a lot of contract disputes. Apparently, Senior owes some people a lot of money. Okay, he needs to run some people their money. Hold on, let me go ahead. Let me pull that. Let me do that real quick for you.
Right. So it says spill it. Yes, spill it, honey. Because I know you said it was about 2-3 pages.
It is 10 pages worth, 10 to a page.
Wow.
Let me see how we want it. Let's organize it by date of birth. That way we can put daddy up top. Let's see.
Okay. And I'll put it on the screen here.
All right. And then I'm going to expand it. I'm not going through no damn 10 pages. We're going to, or 3 pages. Sorry. We're going to do 25 on a page now to get down to 2 pages. So here's what we got. Okay. So this is the suits. Hold on. We're going to switch it over.
Is that his middle name? Is it say Linnell?
Kirk Linnell Frost. Kirk Linnell. Oh, this was the paternity test. This one right here. Washington v. Frost, 2017, when they determined the baby is his.
That's from Jasmine, the baby,
Yes,
the baby
Jasmine.
mama on the show.
2017.
Everything.
Yeah, we got it all. That was his baby. Leave of absence, leave of absence. Yeah, that one started in 2017. Hold on, we're gonna go on back to the results. We went to let me just make sure. Let me see. Yep, Jasmine Washington. That's her right here.
Wow.
The Kirk Frost.
They got everything up there.
They sure do. All right. Then we also got Legacy Records. He was having a contract dispute with Legacy Records. I don't know. Is that Rashida's record company? Oh, that was in 2009. Apparently there was a little breach of contract action going there.
Well, she's supposed to be signed to his record label.
Oh, no. Actually, they were getting sued. SunTrust Bank said Legacy Records owed them money, honey.
She said, someone asked who's senior. Senior is Kirk Frost.
The daddy.
Yeah, the daddy. Rashida's husband is Kirk Frost Sr. because he has a son, Kirk Frost Jr.
Let me go back to it. Date of birth. Okay, we're doing about date of birth. So we got those are two different contracts. It's Kirk SunTrust Bank was mad at him. Statement of a claim. This one is from the daddy too. Magistrate Court. Which one is another 2009 breach of contract. They have different case numbers. That's how we know it's different people. He owes money. This one was against Rashida too. Hold on. DCFS USA. I don't know what they do. Other general civil. Oh, Mercedes-Benz Financial. Oh, y'all, they were behind. They were behind all their bids.
What?
In 2010. That's what it says. Benz had sued him. And Rashida. That means he did not even buy whatever the car is for Rashida. That means he put her name on, and she was responsible for the note too when it didn't get paid.
I thought Bubblegum Residuals was paying for all of this. She said Bubblegum still paying for everything.
Well, she had a tough time in 2010. That bubblegum wasn't bubbling.
I thought make her want to marry me. I thought the ringtones, the MySpace was still paying for this stuff.
No. Oh, and then he had a criminal case in 2008. Oh, armed R-word. Hold on, let's see if this is the daddy or the son. Armed robbery. State versus Frost, 2008. No, that's Kirk Linnell.
Oh, that's
the daddy. He must have beat that charge. Armed robbery. Here you go. Kirk Linnell, because it doesn't say junior.
And it doesn't have the birth date?
I don't see it right now. Let's see.
Because Kirk Jr., he was on the show for a minute. They was wishing him to get his life together and stuff. And, knowing that he has some stuff going on. But what?
I like to believe that it had to have been the son. There's no way in 2008. Now, Rashida and Kirk were not yet on the show yet. Oh, that explains 2010. I don't think they were on Love and Hip Hop. When did Love and Hip Hop Atlanta start? Hold on. When did Love? Uh, 2012. That makes sense. June 18th of 2012.
Yep.
It premiered. So that would make sense that her Benz in 2010 was getting repossessed by Mercedes official. Oh, we're gonna go back to that, y'all. Because they didn't have that money yet.
Tori said they didn't have it like we knew. She said that her ringtone. Y'all heard the lady? You saw Kirk put up all of the streams and stuff her songs got, trying to make like she stream and get more than K Michelle. Y'all saw that?
Right. Y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this 2008 armed robbery that does say Kirk Linnell Frost was the son. Because remember, junior means you have the whole same name. It's not showing me the date. Well, hold on, wait a minute. I searched the search results here. Oh, yeah. That is the son. 1990. Here we go. Let me see. Oh, wait. Yep, that's the son.
I thought, because I know he, like I said, he been on the show, and they were saying, he getting in trouble, and they wanted him to get it together.
Yeah, those are 1990. You can tell by the birth. So I have this organized by birth years, just making sure. Okay, 1990. Let's go back to page 1. We're gonna see about them little debts that Daddy got him involved. Yep. So this is the page that's all dad stuff. Okay, meaning Kirk Frost Sr. Contracts. He owed money to Legacy Records. He was getting sued. This one was a SunTrust, American Express Travel. Damn.
When was this one?
Usually, this is in 09.
All
Let me
before the
see.
show, huh?
Dismissal. So that means they might have paid up. Oh no, sheriff's entry of service. Yeah. They got served. Oh yeah. The documents, like other counties would have the documents attached. This ghetto one does not. And it might also be because it's so old. Then this, 2016. Now wait a minute. Ohio versus Frost. Ohio, aka North Atlanta fireplace. Okay, apparently they had a fireplace installed. Didn't pay that. Nobody cares. That was 2016.
What?
I know. And then 09. This is the one. I think that was Mercedes. Hold on. No. Let's see. Chase Bank versus Frost. My God. Party names. Hold on. I want to see if it's just the daddy. Yep. Parties. Yep. Just the dad. Well, that's good. He ain't put Rashida's name on this one. Hold on. Then the next one was, we got another one. Division 5. Let's see. Dash 55 is Discover Bank. Okay. This one's Discover.
Well, we got SunTrust, Discover, Chase, and Mercedes looking for them, or was looking for them.
And yeah, they had a tough 09, boy.
09 and 10, it sounds like.
And 10. And then we got, okay, then the rest of this is 99. Yep, 1990. Hold on. There was the one that had them. This is the one, the Rashida one. This is the one that was the Benz. DCFS, which is aka Mercedes Financial. And this one has Rashida's name on it. He's out here messing up Rashida's credit with all his shenanigans. Ooh, it's got Rashida and Kirk on there. AKA Rashida Buckner. I guess that's her maiden name. And
Buckner?
Yeah, they owed some money, it says on that Benz, bless her heart. Put him on and make him money, marry me. He wanted to marry you, but he didn't want to pay for it.
You put it on, you put your name on it.
While I'm here, I'm gonna do a quick search on T Hood. Let me see what kind of.
Because you mentioned he had a little background.
Let's see what his priors. And this is just Gwinnett County. So if he's got stuff in what's the other county? If he's got stuff in the other county, which would be Fulton, that it won't come up in this particular search. Okay, I just see a theft. It says theft by taking. This means he stole some stuff.
And this might have been before his rap career kind of guy.
Oh yeah, it was 2012. So that was over a decade ago. Yeah, just stealing a few things. That's all. Affidavit of indigence. We don't know. He could have stole a sandwich or some groceries. Maybe he was just trying to help out his granny or his mama, whoever takes care of him. Someone said, are they really married? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
I believe they are. The ones who I can't find a marriage certificate for is Yandy and Mendices. I'll just say that.
Did it ever become? So they admitted that the Dubai wedding, they never filed anything for that.
Right.
Did they claim that they later did?
They claim that they did because they said, they first got married when they were on Love and Hip Hop New York. And then she admitted that they didn't file the paperwork after the wedding because he had restitution, which I learned from you that they can't put restitution on somebody else. Your restitution is your restitution. So,
but if they're seizing assets, they can seize, or if you're married, like they can seize an account with both names. It makes it basically, if I were her bestie or legal bestie, which I am, I would tell her to do exactly that.
Okay.
Until he pays his restitution, you're not my husband. Because what happens is, one, if he got into anything else, they could come after both of their assets, especially if there's any alleged victims.
Okay. And then they got married again on the Atlanta show, right? They went to Dubai. It was supposed to make it official after that. But I can't find a marriage.
Yeah, I don't think that they are. And if I was her, I would have done the same thing. Truth be told, I was talking about this recently with my fiance. At one point, I had told him, I was like, look, we can have the ceremony, we can have all of this, but I am not filing with the government until you get your stuff under control, because I don't want your finances to impact what I'm able to do, the investments that I qualify for, the homes I can, blah, blah, blah. And he was not happy about that. And he was like, that's ridiculous. But of course, we never went to a phase where you know.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
You
I
jump over the
was
broom.
right to have that concern, clearly.
And I see someone saying, what about back child support? Now, I've never known Mendices to owe back child support because little Mendices was staying with him, was staying with Yandy. I don't know of him, or I've never seen any cases where he's owed any back child support.
And I think her question probably too is, but could this other spouse be responsible for it? The answer is yes and no. The answer is legally across, there's no state in America that permits calculation of the other spouse's income when you calculate child support at all. So if, I married a guy with a kid, they don't get to use my money to calculate it, except for the goddamn FAFSA.
Why?
Because they want to make it harder for us to get educated and not be so ignorant as to continue to allow what we're allowed. But also the second thing is, if you file joint taxes, then they can come and take your stuff. So if you file joint taxes with someone that owes child support and you are, let's say you're entitled to a refund, they'll take your refund to satisfy his taxes, because under the law, under federal law, they are not required to determine, what percent is yours and how much of it is his. No, baby. That's why do not ever file joint taxes with someone who owes child support, or that you even think might owe it. Because they will take your return, or that you think might be behind on their taxes. If you file joint, they're going to take your refund to satisfy their debts.
All right. So like Toria said, be like Andy. Don't get married. No wonder they out here in the streets. She going across to London allegedly with the trainer, and he been seen out to dinner allegedly with a few women. No wonder.
Listen, I remember meeting the two of them at a birthday party for a mutual friend, Mendices and Yandy, and they were both so nice and polite. And it was so funny. This was maybe a year after he had gotten out, and I was with my ex-fiance. And I had been telling my ex, I was like, listen, because I would get a lot of jail calls while and after being on Ready to Love. Come to find out, I knew this wonderful paralegal, and her son, who was in prison for life, was obsessed with me. So one day I was like, sure, you can call him. I'll say hello. So he revealed to me that we are actually the #1 show, in the Department of Corrections for New York State, because they're very limited on what they're allowed to watch. I was on Ready to Love. So they loved watching Ready to Love because, one, it was Black people, Black men and women, so they could see themselves in the cast. And they weren't allowed to, they can't watch First 48. They can't watch anything that would make them more violent, but they were allowed to watch all kind of The Bachelor, the love show. So they loved Ready to Love. So anyway, when I met Mendices for the first time, he walks up to him and I and goes, oh my gosh, I love you guys. I love y'all. I love your show. And so Yandy walks up behind and she was like, what show is that? Right? Because when you're married, what shows y'all watch together. Yeah. She was like, what show is that? Because she's probably never seen Ready to Love. She got shit to do. And she's like, what show is that? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's the show. And I told him, I was like, oh, we're on a show called Ready to Love. And she was like, oh, she was confused. And then when I walked up, I was like, I told her you were sweet. He was like, that is where he watched it. He would have, because our season would have been while he was still incarcerated.
Lord.
So he never watched it with Yandy because she was locked up. So I just thought that was cute. Too funny.
Wow.
And no, her breath did not smell, and nor did I smell a BB. She smelled lovely, like Black lady excellence in perfume.
Yeah, and now she put out a post saying that it's Rashida that smelled like earring backs. So that's what she put out today.
Lord have mercy. Lord.
That's the statement she put out today. That it's Rashida.
I did see that. Them two going back and forth with each other. Look. That's just, but I also want to say, I hope that this makes Kirk step back and really assess how terrible of a father he was, how he missed the mark during his children's critical years, and for whatever excuse he wants to give, whether it's I didn't get along with the mom or whatever. Because at the end of the day, I judge people by the whole, not just your financial successes, but how happy are your children based on the life that you provided for them. And here we have a son, the oldest, the junior, who's a career criminal. He was sawed-off shotgun, all these types of things. And then we have a daughter who's in that kind of relationship where we saw that violence. Because here's the thing, men know who they can yank around like that. They know when women do not feel they have the protection of their fathers. And those are the ones that they will manhandle and jack all around. If they respect your father, they're not going to do that.
Yeah,
by and large,
daddy coming on site.
There are always exceptions, but by and large, if he was frightened of Kurt, he would have just left her when he decided she was too much. He wouldn't have slung her across the room. Because the men that met my daddy, all you got to do is say the word. And my daddy is old at this point, right? He's in his 70s. But like throughout my day, I would later learn about my father jacking up. I had like my college sweetheart at some point had made me cry. And I called my mom from college and told her like, oh, he did such and such. During Christmas, he comes to the house to take me to a Christmas party. I found out my dad met him on the sidewalk, jacked him up and said, you bring my daughter home how you found her. You didn't bring her home crying. You didn't find her crying. Don't you bring her home crying. And had him by his shirt collar like that. He was like, yes. I didn't find out about that till literally like years and years later. He went in that house. He acted like he had some sense. And that boy didn't cut up with me no more.
Yep. I know all about that. Definitely a daddy's girl. He don't play about me. So I hear you. And it's just also to me, it's just a reflection of you see them on the show right now, right? And they are laughing at Yandium and DC's and what's going on with them. And it's like, tend to your own backyard because you have a lot going on. I'm not going to say this is their karma, but don't laugh and point the fingers at others, because they have clearly, we've seen the lawsuits, we see what's going on here. It's always something going on with them, so
absolutely. Deandra says, I read that Kelsey told his mom that he's in the house breaking the cameras in her living room. Hun, if you could share, I love those things. Y'all feel free to share any links in the comments below, because when the live is over, the links that you're sharing in the chat, we may not have access to, but share any of those links because I definitely want to go back and read some of that. That would make sense and that would be consistent. And I also find it odd that his family doesn't appear to be speaking at all to the violence allegations. Now, I can't necessarily blame them because they may feel like, wait, you guys are changing the topic. And the topic should be, why isn't my brother alive anymore? But
now they retaliated by putting out the videos of her arguing with him over groupies, over women, cursing him out.
Okay.
They tried, they put up those videos. They were also saying, well, if you felt that threatened, why call your brothers? Even though we don't know if that's what she did or not, but they were saying, why not call the police? Why did you call your brothers to get involved? So those were like some of their
I'll tell you why. Because these are hood kids who live by the hood rules. The brother is a felon, like Junior, Kurt Frost Jr. is a felon with a record. I think she may have a record too. Hold on, I think I put it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kelsey has one too. I'm gonna do that search again.
What?
Not bad. I mean, I think hers is like theft or something. Hold on, let me pull hers too. Yep.
Why is everybody stealing?
Why is everybody stealing? But I mean, when you look, that guy was so hood like that. Those are not the people. They don't call the police because they don't trust the police. At this point, can we be surprised? Oh yeah, she's got a Kelsey Frost. Now, some of these men are not her because it says race white. But wait, this is a Kelsey Nicole. Isn't she Kelsey Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
She's Kelsey Nicole, ain't she?
Mm-hmm.
1988. Huh. Yeah, no, that white is wrong. This is Kelsey Nicole. So we've got in 2014. What is this? She was charged with obstruction or hindering law enforcement. That would explain why. And I can put this back up on the screen so you can share it. That would explain why she don't trust the police. Because it looks like she's had an incident where apparently they arrested her. Let's see. There we go. This is her. Obstruction or hindering law enforcement. That was 2014. She dealt with that, it looks like, for 2 years, because this is 2014. Then after that, we got 2015. It says theft by taking. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, theft by taking. It looks like those are two different incidents. Then we got, let's see, is this the same? Some of it when they go to it's just when they go to magistrate court. Theft by deception. That means you lied to get somebody's stuff. And that is
well, Atlanta's the scamming capital of the world.
Oh, it sure is. And then what do we got here? Oh, controlled substances. Again, this says female white, but that is her full name.
Intent to distribute? Or just in possession of?
Controlled substance. Oh, no, she's just using a little something. 07, purchase, possess, or control any control. I mean, that could be, depending on the state law, it could be weed. That was 07. Right. 07.
It ain't even legal now down there. So.
Yeah. We got another one. Y'all, this is all Kelsey. This is a paternity test. Apparently, Anthony Trey Reynolds didn't think he was the daddy of a baby. Then we've got, what is this one? 2015. We got another one. Is theft by taking in deception. Okay, yeah, we got that was 15. I mean, these kids was busy. Yeah. Other domestic relations. Hold on, let's see that one. Other domestic relations. Oh no, this is probably somebody else. Mark and Frost, Amy Frost, and Nicole. No, that's different. Yep, okay. That Kelsey Nicole ain't her. So I'm gonna say the other Kelsey Nicole with the this looks like a white girl, and that was probably some white girl in her cocaine or something. I don't know. But the theft by taking did appear, to be. So I'll go ahead and pull that down. So yeah.
Well, I am briefed, honey, on all the information. We will definitely continue to follow this investigation, see what the outcome is, and if there's any charges.
Mm-hmm. I do want to, I'm sorry, I left a note, and I want to leave you guys with this parting words. Number one, make sure check out my website, SymoneRedwine.com. I take cases across the nation.
Where's your flyer?
Schedule a consultation. What's that?
The flyer you had, put it back.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, my website, which is SymoneRedwine.com. Let me go back to that one. Where was it? I know I had. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's this little. Here we go. SymoneRedwine.com. But listen, I got to let you guys know this. So, yes, we real estate closings through the Red Wine Law Firm Experience title. And then you can, this is my book on background checks. It's only $19.99. You can get it. It's Background Checks 101. I literally teach you how to do background checks. And I share like what sites and things like that I use. And then you just come on down to the bottom and you can book a consultation. Somewhere there we go. Book me. But listen, I don't want you guys to get distracted. So I want to make sure you hear this part. So I'm going to stop sharing it. I've seen many, many people talk about, she should have got a restraining order. And then I'll see other comments that say a piece of paper is not going to do a thing. I disagree. In this situation, it potentially could be helpful if she had gotten a restraining order against him for having hurt her previously, right? Even if she decides to take him back, and he comes over, and then the brothers come over, and the brother pals him because they're at her house. The brothers have much heightened protection because he is now in violation of a restraining order for DV. So a lot of people are like, oh, no, it doesn't help. One way it will help and protect you is too often I have seen women victims of DV who say, oh, I don't need it. But then they have to go and they end up pal-palling, or their brother pals them, or their dad does it. It gives a layer of protection, because if your dad or brother does it, he doesn't even have to be actively hitting you. But if he does it while that man is in your presence, that means that man has violated the law, which means that man does not have any stand your ground protection. And if you got to tear that butt up, it's a lot easier to get off on a self-defense, even where there's no active beating, where you can say, oh, but Your Honor, he was in violation. He wasn't even supposed to be in my sister's house. Sister don't even have to be there, right? Sister don't have to be there.
Right.
He was at my sister's house or the apartment they used to share together, which means he's in violation of the law. He don't get no protection. I hope that makes sense.
It does. And, you know, you saw her statement, though. She said she handles things privately because she know they would be right back together. So, you know.
That's her choice.
Yeah,
And even, and a lot of men got to be clear, even if there's a restraining order and she says, I love you, I don't care, I want to see you come over. If you do that, you're still breaking the law. Only the judge can invalidate that restraining order. So guys, don't fall for that. That does happen. But she's probably right. She would have gotten one. They would have been right back together. And there we are. But now her whole family is all discombobulated because of her choices.
Yeah. And Shay, babe, the footage that leaked wasn't from the day of the incident. It was from prior. So that's that. So
yeah, that was 2020. It was a 2024 incident, allegedly.
Right. Well,
yeah.
Attorney Symone Redwine, thank you for coming through. Y'all make sure y'all follow her, Attorney Symone Redwine, on Instagram, as well as subscribe to her YouTube channel. Girl, is that legal? She breaks down everything. I told you if I'm ever in trouble, she is on speed dial. And you guys make sure you follow me, reality_recap, for all the trending reality news and gossip. I also recap on my channel on YouTube. So please subscribe to reality_recap. You can find me on YouTube, Reality Recap 2876. I do recaps weekly, 3 to 5 episodes a week, just recapping everything. Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, clearly, basketball wise, everything, you name it. So, you know, again, Attorney Symone, thank you for coming on. You always answer my call. Whenever I reach out to her, she answers right away. So I appreciate it, guys. So we'll keep you updated on this story. And make sure that when we get more information on the investigation or when it's closed, that we'll come back and do it again. But you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe and enjoy your Friday night. Don't do anything that we wouldn't do. So that's probably everything. But everybody have a good weekend, y'all. Peace.
All right, take care. Bye, y'all. It's your legal bestie, Attorney Symone.
Bye.